The Road of Legends details have been released, and this is looking like one of the best Go Fest ever. We have so many Pokemon in raids, new bonuses, golden bottle cap, lucky trinket, and a lot more. What do you think about this?
I think this will hands down be one of the best Go Fests to date. I'm so excited about it.
So the first thing I want to point out is the unexpected bonus of being able to use an Elite Charge TM to put Spatial Rend or Roar of Time on Palkia and Dialga.
Honestly, when I saw that in the news post this morning, I was like, no way. This has to be a joke.
I knew it would come eventually, so it's been a few years, but it's a good sign that this bonus could come again in the future, but it looks like it's going to be locked behind an event.
Yeah, and I think this is probably one of the most exciting bonuses of this event. And it seems like everyone online is mostly excited about this because it's never been a thing ever before. So many people have hundos or shundos of Palkia Dialga without Spatial Rend, so this is your time to get it. But what are those fine print details though? Because there is a catch here.
The details that you can only do it during this event and that you have to use an Elite Charge TM.
Yeah, so you have to get ready, like whether that means you have to buy an Elite Charge TM the next time, Con Day's coming up, so you might want to actually buy that Con Day ticket just for the Elite TM, or there's like a box typically, right?
There's typically a box, it's not in the ticket.
Yeah, so the box, like you might want to do that. I'm assuming there'll be ways to buy Elite TMs. I'm not sure, like if you don't have an Elite TM, they're very hard to get. So that's gonna be the only thing is like you are gonna have to be picky on what Dialga Palkia. This isn't just like a free for all, you can just get it. You do have to use that Elite Charge TM during this event. And one of the top Reddit comments I saw about this is like, people are still gonna be upset because they're gonna have missed the window.
But they gave us a window, so that's okay.
Okay, what I would do right now as you're watching this video, go into your calendar app and put a reminder like during the day, like when the event starts for the entire week that says Elite TM Dialga Palkia, and it just is there every day reminding you. That's what I would do.
And it's official that we're getting another golden bottle cap.
I think this is great. We all kind of knew that this was going to happen, but we aren't always guaranteed getting things like this. So I think everyone's excited. It is in the deluxe path of the Go Pass. And I think later on, we're going to be talking about if you should get it, but because there are a lot of other bonuses, but definitely if you're wanting to golden bottle cap something, this is your time to do it.
It is a premium item, so I see why they lock it behind the deluxe pass. I'm glad it's back. There's a few things I could use it on, but let us know in the comments what you would use your golden bottle cap on, because we're going to make a video and we might use your comment.
Or if you have questions about which ones you should use it on. We've already had a couple people ask us like, hey, these are my contenders, what should we do? And we helped someone earlier today figure out that they should golden bottle cap their shiny costume Ponyta with the Copenhagen background. Like that's a no-brainer. So yeah, if you have a few contenders, also drop it in the comments.
Since last year, I've been planning to use mine on Eternatus, but I got the Armored Mewtwo during Go Fest, so now I'm torn Eternatus or Armored Mewtwo.
Honestly, both are good decisions. We're gonna have to find out though what we actually choose to golden bottle cap. And beyond the golden bottle cap, which will be on that paid side, on the free side, we are also getting a lucky trinket. And I think that's really cool.
I think that's really great for the community because now you can guarantee those lucky trades, especially if you go out with your community and you have a friend that you want to do a trade with that you may not have unlocked a remote trade with.
Yeah, or hit lucky friends with them yet. So,
exactly.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of contenders that you could do lucky trades with and even like bottle cap after the fact. So it's a good time for everyone.
That is a good point that if you get the deluxe pass, now it's paired with the trinket and the bottle cap.
Yeah, so you could, if you did like a lucky trade and it doesn't become like a shundo, you could bottle cap it if you want. So that's an option too.
There's so many good Pokemon in raids and it's a great time to play catch up. The bonuses are actually built around raiding. So we're gonna have no remote raid limit.
For the entire week.
And an easy catch rate.
Which is an amazing bonus.
And 2 raid passes from spinning the gem disc each day.
More raids the better.
And if you get the deluxe pass, you'll get 3 guaranteed candy and a candy XL for those raid Pokemon.
Which you need if you want to power any of these up. So I would say great rating bonuses with all the raiding that everyone's going to probably be doing during this event. All right, let's actually look at these raid Pokemon because this is going to give us a glimpse as to what actual Global Go Fest Saturday and Sunday are going to look like, but also some Pokemon that aren't available during Global will be featured during this week. So, you can look at the calendar here, but basically every day the raids are changing, and during the week, every day we will have a raid hour from 6 to 7, but then from 7 to 8, we're having a mega raid hour for like one featured mega Pokemon. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of different Pokemon you might want to go after. So knowing the raid schedule is going to be really important.
Well, the first day, it makes sense why they call this Road to Legends, because the amount of legendary Pokemon in raids is insane.
It's crazy. It's basically everything.
There are a couple mythical like Genesect, and then you have some Ultra Beast in there, but you primarily see a push of legendary Pokemon, which is great for seeing Pokemon like Origin Form Giratina, Rayquaza, Pokemon like that in raids.
Yeah, and what's going to be interesting is if it's like the Road to Kalos, we basically have these raids the entire day. And I'm just curious what the raid hour is going to look like also, because we're seeing those raids rotating all the time. So I'm curious how different the daily raids are going to look like versus like the raid hours.
Then for the raids for the rest of the week, we're seeing these premium Pokemon that have something special about them, like fusions or the adventure effect Pokemon like Origin Form, Dialga and Palkia, or Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre.
Yeah, because those won't be available during Global. So if you need some fusion energy, any of that primal energy, this is your time to get it. And you don't have to fuse anything until you get like a hundo or something during raids, for example.
And these really are the best of the best. So we're seeing Necrozma fusions, Kyurem fusions, Zacian and Zamazenta in their crown forms. We have the adventure effect Pokemon like Origin Form Dialga, Origin Form Palkia, and then we have Primal Groudon and Primal Kyogre.
Yeah, like you said, these are the best of the best, some of the top Pokemon. I think later on we'll also have a video on like which Pokemon to go after, but really these last ones, the, Tuesday through Friday, are probably the ones I would focus the most of my energy on. I feel like Monday is just kind of like priming you to get ready for Go Fest.
And what I find interesting about this is that Mewtwo is going to be on the weekend, Mega Mewtwo, and you have returning players who are interested in Mewtwo. They get to do all the good stuff leading up to it. So it's a great time to catch up with those fusions, with all of these top Pokemon, but you need to know what you're going for.
Yeah, that's true, because you don't want to use all of your raid passes if your main priority is Mewtwo. Now, if you have like an unlimited budget, you want to raid, your heart's desire, this is also the time to do it. But yeah, be mindful that Mewtwo is Saturday, Sunday, so you might want to pace yourself, but also know what you want to go for. And it's also really cool because all of the Pokemon during this week and during Go Fest will have a special background. Now, on the website, it has like this DNA looking background. I don't know if that's just for Mewtwo or if all of them will have this background. We'll find out. It could be this, could be something different, but they are background eligible. So getting year 10 shiny backgrounds of these would be really cool, really fun to go for, good trade bargains.
For me, I would say absolutely go for Mewtwo during Go Fest with the background, because it's year 10, this is a good background, but it's a good time to also go for your favorite Pokemon, because let's say there's a regional Pokemon, like if you love a Zelf and you get that one with this background,
So cool.
That could be a strategy for someone who just doesn't need to go for the top hitters.
Yeah, like your favorite, and that can even be your bottle cap contender then too. I don't know. There's like so much potential for people to play how they want during this event, and that's what I'm like most excited about.
Especially if you know someone who's going to do the same thing and you can mirror those and use the Lucky Trinket, get it lucky, bottle cap it, or if you just get a shundo from that trade, that would be really cool. But there's a lot of fun ways to play this event.
There is, yeah. And one thing too, with the Mewtwo backgrounds, there is a small thing that whenever Mewtwo with this special background is Mega Evolved, the Mega background will have additional visual effects.
Ooh.
Whatever that means. I think that's interesting. I mean, I'm assuming it'll be, I don't know what it'll be like, so.
So for me, the backgrounds have been kind of meh, but for this one, I do like it, and I think this is one worth going for.
Yeah, I agree.
They paired this event with the egg pool for all of these Pokemon that can Mega Evolve too. So if this giant egg pool, it doesn't have everything. I believe when I scanned through it, it was missing Kangaskhan and like a few Pokemon like that. But for the most part, a lot of Pokemon that have Mega Evolutions are going to be available in eggs, and I think that's a lot of fun too.
Yeah, and not just that, some interesting regionals. Like you said, Kangaskhan is kind of weird because we are seeing Heracross. So that's kind of a weird one. That's in 5-kilometer eggs. I would say the egg pool is so-and-so for me. 2-kilometer eggs, I'm not super jazzed about. 5-kilometer eggs, that's the starters with the Pika Visor.
Yeah.
That's really cool. 10-kilometer eggs, mostly just for Tropius. So it's kind of like a mixed bag of like, do I like the egg pool? Do I not like the egg pool?
I'm on the fence because I think this is a great idea in execution for a large part of the player base. But for us, I probably won't hatch as much.
Now, if it's anything like the in-person Go Fest, I'm hoping that the egg pool will be readily available in the wild and in field researches. So I'm hoping I can get my Tropius in the wild, that I can get those starters with the Pika Visor in the wild, stuff like that. Hopefully it's not purely egg locked. I think Tropius is in incenses, but those incense spawns can be kind of tricky sometimes too.
Overall, this is an incredible event. The Road of Legends, then we have Global Go Fest, and then there's some like surprise Pikachu event starting right afterwards. So I'm hoping that's going to be a lot of fun. I think you were hoping that it was going to be a special balloon Pikachu.
Yeah, like a balloon Pikachu, or even like past Go Fest costume Pikachus and just like rare Pikachu costumes. I don't know. I'm just hoping it's really fun. So this is video 1 of what I am calling our Road to Go Fest series. We have a lot of videos of tips and tricks, how to prepare, how to get ready. But if you want to go ahead and start getting ready now, go ahead and get yourself a phone cooler and a battery pack. I would say those are hands down the only things you really need. We've been using these for 3 years now. They've lasted us so well, and I would say are probably the most crucial part to a consistent and good gameplay outside of app crashes that you can't control.
One thing I'm excited about the event is that we're going to be in Seoul, South Korea for part of it. And then during the Crown Forums, that's when we're flying to Kazakhstan, and we'll be playing global from Almaty, Kazakhstan, which we've never been to Kazakhstan before. And that's a lot of fun. And if you love food and travel, you can check out our Bernie and Kareem account and get to see our travel content, which is separate from Bernie and Kareem Go, because we do travel the world full time.
Yeah, you know, one thing though is like looking at the dates, I have no idea why, or I have a kind of an idea of why we chose to travel and like play Go Fest somewhere else. I'm like, we should have just played in Seoul at this point, but it's going to be an adventure, I'll say.
Yep. But if you watch our channel and you're from Almaty, Kazakhstan, we'll be there. So you can reach out and give us some tips of how to play, because we know campfire doesn't work in Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting.
We're going to have to figure out how to navigate playing there, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I think playing in Seoul for all these raids, I will say the best thing for us is that we're missing the Zacian Zamazenta. We played all 3 of those Go Fest, the Makeup Go Fest, Global. I don't really need anything. I'd like a little bit of energy for Zamazenta, but that's the day for us to skip, so it kind of works out in a way.
Let us know what you think of Road of Legends, Global Go Fest, and that surprise Pikachu event, and we'll see you in the next video.